Could cook an egg on,
oh, man,
on the bleacher here. So we switched sides of the fields here. Back to that 3rd down and long. Very big swing play here for the Raiders.
Looks like it's going to be old-fashioned cover 2 man here for the Raiders defense. One-on-one coverage outside. Safety help over the top.
I'd imagine we'll see the arm here of Renslow.
I'd look for a shot here.
Drops back. And that one going absolutely nowhere.
Punt unit comes on for Simley. Now Raiders should get it in decent position here, potentially even in plus territory, depending on how good this punt is.
Well, we'll see what kind of pressure this Raiders special teams unit can put out here. Bezdicic lining up on the center field logo. Punt protection. Pretty solid pressure. Decent punt. Going to be fielded by Bezdicic. Cuts on a dime. Move. Finds some space. Now we're running here towards the Spartans' side of the field and torn out of bounds in plus territory.
Such a good return there. Making a few guys miss, bouncing it to the outside and getting into Spartan territory. Raiders in prime scoring position here with 1st and 10 around the 42-yard line.
Well, and a great return there by Bezdicic. You know, a lot of times the mark of a good punt returner is knowing when to go north and south and just getting the yards that are there. But when there's that much open field, you know, he took what they gave him. So we'll get the first glimpse at the Raiders offense here in the early goings of the 2nd quarter. Milner hands it off. And Burrow tried to find the gap. He'll fall forward for a gain of 4.
It's a really nice play on 1st down. Get ahead of the sticks, make it 2nd and short to mid. And now the playbook opens. Now you can do whatever you want. You can run a similar play again. You can take a shot downfield. Especially in high school football, you want to stay ahead. Well, you always want to stay ahead of the change, right? But in high school, it's so much more critical because if you find yourself in 2nd and 3rd and long, passes are completed at a lot less significant clip at this level.
Well, very, very true. Shotgun snap, hands it off to Burrow, and he is wrapped up around the neck for a loss of 1.
Hand off to number 32, Peyton Burrow.
And early in this first quarter and early goings here, the 2nd quarter, I mean, Simley's done a nice job of, like I said earlier, winning at the line of scrimmage, putting pressure on and sending extra guys into the box, trying to force Hastings into those 2nd and 3rd and longs like I just talked about. Now big 3rd down play here for the Raiders.
Yet another shotgun snap here. 3 receivers set. Milner rolls out to the far side. Definitely has some room. Throws that out of bounds. Intended for Bezdicic.
Intended pass. Incomplete.
You go for this here. I don't think it's much of a question.
Well, they have the same personnel out here. We'll see if we're live here for this 4th down.
Back to the shotgun.
Nelson showing pressure. Milner, solid protection, airs that one out, and we get a penalty flag. The catch might have been made. They're going to say it was out of bounds, but likely a defensive pass interference against Simley.
A lot of contact there before the ball got there. Got to assume it's a pass interference call. No official word yet. And it is. And give credit to Bezdicic. I mean, nearly hauling that one in while getting PI'd down the sideline. Odell Beckham-like kind of grab there.
Yeah.
The only difference is Bezdicic is healthy.
Well, that is true. I think he plays a little more than 15% of the games.
Yeah, he's probably already eclipsed Odell's game total from last season, and we're in week 3.
First down here on the doorstep of the red zone. Or the green zone, as some people might call it. Not me, though. Milner fakes the snap, rolls out, plants his feet, sends that one to the end zone. And a deflection there from Tavion McCoy.
Taking a lot of shots downfield here. And you have to think maybe that's an adjustment in the play calling based on how Simley has stacked the box early in an effort to sell out against the run, which they've done a nice job of so far. But now if you're the Raiders, you got to find a way to complete some of these passes. Maybe some curls, some drags, something short, swing passes to get your offense moving.
Wow, we got some Chief Keef playing in the stadiums. I didn't know that was allowed.
They're vibing down here. This student section get rowdy.
Well, another adjustment that I've really liked is they're doing a lot of rollouts, so they're really avoiding a lot of the pressure up the middle. They avoid the pressure up the middle there just by sliding out of the way. Burrow inside the 20. And I don't know why we don't see this more in high school with every team, not just this game specifically, and certainly with D3 football as well. The slant, you don't really see slants, but if you can cut properly, it's pretty hard to defend a slant.
And that's a great point. I mean, I'm honestly surprised you don't see more slants. There's not a lot of curls either. I mean, just go 8 yards, turn around, come back to the ball, easy completion. Because 99% of the time, high school football teams are playing man coverage.
Yeah, you're not necessarily getting lockdown coverage either.
Right.
We see so many go routes, so many vertical routes.
Yep.
Man, those are 20% efficiency.
Yeah, maybe. I totally agree. I'd like to see more, just more short stuff, and even like Simley did a couple times in their first 2 possessions, just swing passes. Get it out to your running back. It's basically a run, right? I mean, it's just a quick swing pass to your running back to get ahead of the chains, gain 4 or 5 yards, and get yourself into a good position for the next down. I'd like to see Hastings kind of incorporate some of that here.
Yeah, beautifully said. It's just an extension of the run game, but you don't have to deal with all of the,
with all of the battle at the line of scrimmage. Right,
middle.
Exactly.
Well, we got 2 receivers up top. It's going to be Bezdicic in the slot. Cooper, the outside receiver. 8 yards to go here on this 4th down. Milner rolling out, pressured, throws this one to the end zone, and incomplete. Bezdicic doing his best to dive out for that one.
It'll be a turnover on downs.
Spartan first down.
As we get a replay of that last play. I do like these designed rollouts, but Burrow's got to pick up that block right there. If the right tackle gets beat, you gotta get chippy there and buy your quarterback some time.
Yeah, you got to have one of those two. Whenever you have 2 targets and that's all you have, everybody else is blocking.
You can't have pressure.
One of those 2 has to get open.
Yep, you can't. Well, one of them has to be open, and you have to get. You can't allow pressure, right? If you're selling out on the blocking scheme. And we get a timeout. Okay, got it. So the first timeout of the second quarter. Just want to remind our viewers, HCTV Sports is supported by Biermeyer Financial Management, retirement, planning, and expertise. So appreciate them and all their support for HCTV and more specifically HCTV Sports this season.
Well, you might have to check them out. You're getting, we're getting up there.
No, that's true. I've looked at retirement.
We're on the back.
I've that. Yeah, we are. If life is a golf course, I'm on the 17th tee.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember, folks, Spartan raffles happening during the game. One lucky fan will split the cash prize, and it will be.
Whoa, 50-50 raffle. Are you hearing this?
Might have to get in on
Might
this.
have to take advantage of.
Support our football programs.
Never know what. Yeah, you could leave with a couple $100. Head on over to the taco truck. That's a good afternoon.
That's just enough to cover one Jim Sturm.
Take one of everything.
Take the snap up the middle, working his way to the outside. Has some blockers. It's Nelson, so more blockers. And he lowers the shoulder. Taking that one well into Raiders territory here with under 8 minutes to go.
Nelson doing such a nice job of embracing contact, fighting for extra yards. And that one, honestly, I don't know that he was touched until down around the 45-ish yard line of the Raiders. Just bouncing it outside, following blockers and hitting the holes where he sees them.
No, yeah, for being a physical guy, for being a bigger back, he sure was shifty on that one.
Yep, elusive and speedy. And now it's clear why they're averaging more than 300 yards a game on the ground.
For receiver set. Renslow puts McCoy in motion. Hands it off up the middle. That was a lot of space to work with. Not shying away from contact either. Down at the 26-yard line.
And given the last two plays, the success that they've had on the ground, it's why I've been surprised that they've gone to the air as much as they have throughout this game. I mean, it seems like they could march the entirety of the field if they just handed off every play.
Yeah. And they're definitely giving it more than the obligatory, old college try. You'll even see with, teams might be 99% run, but they're going to throw the ball at least one time a game.
Yep.
They're throwing it a couple of times a drive, just trying to, work a big play in there, trying to keep them honest. Handoff to the man in motion, McCoy, full speed ahead, down inside the red zone.
The Spartans have just done such a nice job at the line of scrimmage. I mean, they are winning in the trenches, and obviously, all credit to the backs as well, right? It helps to have some dynamic runners in the backfield, but that line of scrimmage is being moved 2 and 3 yards up for those backs.
And again, the size of these offensive linemen for Simley, massive. Big old number 77 there. I couldn't imagine trying to move their center.
Got to imagine this isn't his last time playing on Saturdays.
No. Might have to give him the business card of Coach Matt Walker. Run up the middle, shucking and jiving a little bit.
Who wouldn't want to play for a nationally ranked football team, huh?
Hey, that is very true. Very true.
Shout out to the EWRF Falcons, taking St. John's University to the absolute brink last weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, they put Brandon Kropinski as the replacement for Charlie Corbin next year. They beat St. John's on the road.
You never know. It's a good team.
Maybe see what Gavin Nelson's up to as well.
Honestly, couldn't agree more. He's been outstanding today.
There really is low-key a lot of talent in this state when it comes to football.
100% agree.
But not really the ego of, Louisiana or Texas. Tripped up on that one, but he does fall forward for a gain of 2.
Yeah, if you're a Division III school, I mean, not to spend too much time on UWRF football, but you gotta win the metro recruiting, right? I mean, you gotta bring some kids across the border. They're the closest WIAC school. There is an opportunity to be had recruiting in this just across the border.
I mean, you got to ask yourself, why not?
Right.
Why not? They got a new logo. They got the Falcon Center.
Why not us?
Why not us?
Why not us?
Why not us and why not now?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to air that one out to the back corner of the end zone.
What a grab!
And
Oh my
it was out
goodness.
of bounds. I'd like to see the instant replay on that one.
Outstanding grab by Tavion McCoy, the senior wide receiver. Let's take another look at this one. First of all, give credit. What a beautiful ball. I mean, this is a textbook ball. Just ran out of real estate. Such a nice grab.
Ooh-wee, that was a dime. But I'll tell you what, if this was college football, that might have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. But instead, it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Can get a first down here at the 1-yard line. Handoff up the middle and untouched into the end zone is Gavin Nelson. Second touchdown of the game.
The Raiders defensive line just getting beat at the line of scrimmage. I mean, there's only so much you can do if you're a defensive back or a linebacker trying to attack some of those running backs.
And the extra point is blocked. Second one blocked of the game for the Raiders.
You get a couple extra points blocked early in a football game. You got to think about going for 2 at some point, especially with the success that you've had on offense. I'd expect 2-point conversions the rest of the way.
Yeah, well, you got to make up.
So it's a 19-7 lead here for the Spartans. 4 minutes, 56 seconds remaining here in this first half of action, and suddenly this becomes a very important drive for the Raiders. You give the ball back here with a couple minutes left and potentially a chance to score for Simley, you're in trouble.
Help support future football players in the Embry Grove Heights Youth Football Program. We have several exciting upcoming events, including Designer First Bingo, happening on Saturday, September 24th, 1 p.m. at the Mississippi Pub.
Well, yeah, and you need a score here to stay in the game, and you got 3 timeouts and you got plenty of time. You got 5 minutes. That's plenty of time, even if you want to run the ball a bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, time is not an issue here. You just got to find a way to come away with points. But it's going to start with pass protection and winning at the line of scrimmage. The Raiders, they've done an all right job. They just got to step it up to get back in this game.
Home crowd's getting into it. We'll have the kickoff end over end. Going to be shallow, fielded on the move at the 10-yard line. Burrow following his blockers and just shoves a player out of the way down at the 30.
The Raiders, number 32, Peyton Burrow, tackled by number 35, Adrian Gaines. Raiders 1st and 10. Ball placed on the 31-yard line.
Curious to see if Hastings continues to stick with some of those designed rollouts. I kind of like that, with just given how the battle in the trenches has gone so far. I wouldn't mind seeing some more of that and kind of relieving some pressure on the quarterback this drive.
Yeah, I concur. Simley pressuring up the middle. Hit as he throws, and that is intercepted, nearly completed to Bezdicek. They're going to return this one down the sidelines. Couple of men to beat, and that's going to be a pick 6 for the Simley Spartans. Absolutely.
And we talked about Tavion McCoy and the great grab that he made in the end zone just a few minutes ago. He makes another great grab near midfield and goes all the way to the house with it. And you see right there, quarterback hit as he throws. Route just jumped. A 50-50 ball that goes the way of the Spartans. Blockers downfield.
Yeah, that is a convoy
And it's a familiar cast of cats, right? We just talked about McCoy, his leading blocker right there on the way into the end zone. Who other than Gavin Nelson? Two-way players. They can do a lot for you.
So they will line up for the extra point here. We'll see if this one's any more successful. And it is. So it is 26-7. Game getting a little bit out of hand here. Very important, those two-way players. McCoy having himself a game. Reagan Hooverman, two-way broadcaster. Triple threat, really. Print, radio, TV.
Five-tool guy.
Five-tool guy. Take another look at the interception here from McCoy.
Like you said, a convoy. Look at those blockers. And he gets into the end zone
on
untouched.
Decision at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's chalked. You just, why, you know, is it worth battling at the 5-yard line? Maybe not.
It's for them to decide. Well, and I will say that, you know, that wasn't a bad pass. That wasn't a bad route. Just and he took a licking on that hit as well. Milner. Just a great play by McCoy.
And Milner's been under pressure basically every drop back to pass here through this first half, and it's part of the reason the scoreboard looks the way it does.
Well, the Raiders will not have to wait for a response. Kickoff here. Another end over end, a little short. Burrow once again, just like the last one, on the run at the 10-yard line. Burrow some space, picking up speed. An even better return takes it down to the 40. Only 30 seconds elapsed on the last possession, so still plenty of time here. 3 timeouts for the Raiders to try to close this deficit.
If you want to stick with the ground game with Burrow, who's obviously such a talented back in his own right, maybe try to get going. If you're going to stick with the shotgun, maybe a little more east and west to the north and south. I mean, the line of scrimmage has not been great today for the Raiders. Try to get Burrow to the outside, see if he can make one of those smaller defensive backs miss and maybe gain some yards that way.
Well, I'll be interested to see if they can get other backs into the game, because, you know, the last couple of years we've really seen a really nice 2 or 3 backfield for the Raiders. Sure, there's a primary back who gets most of the snaps, but, you know, Burrow with a nice 8-yard run there. Or excuse me, Ryan Clemens.
And we'd like to see maybe some more of that. I mean, 6'2" junior, 165 pounds. I mean, he has the potential to be a very nice back in his own right as well. And like you said, we've seen so much of that. Hastings is, I mean, when we were calling games a couple years ago, that just notorious for 2 and 3 deep backfields that you could rotate in, kind of running back by committee.
Well, you know, there's only so much stamina in a game for Burrow. They might be missing a real nice big power back like Freiermuth was a couple of years ago. That one deflected, intended for Cooper.
Number 11, incomplete pass from Daniel Miller, intended for number 6, Rico Cooper. Result of the play, 3rd and 4.
It's going to be 3rd and manageable here for the Raiders offense. Under 4 minutes to go, trailing 26-7.
Down 3 possessions. Pretty important that they score here. But like I always like to say, especially with Falcons games, because we've seen them get blown out a lot in our times, you know, whatever the opposing team does to you, you can do to them in the second half. Hey, if they can score 26 in the first half, then it's possible for you to score 26 in the second. Hands that one off to Burrow, and that one's going nowhere. He tried to escape to some space there in front of the Raiders bench.
Yeah, now it's going to be 4th and kind of long here. We'll have to see what the Raiders do. It's getting to a point where neither option sounds fun, right? You probably don't want to go for it on 4th and... I believe it's 4th down. Yeah, it is 4th down. So 4th and 7.
Hey, maybe they're trying to give us a 5th down.
Looks like the Raiders could use it.
Reifenberger here to punt. McCoy, Mr. Pick 6. Back to return at the 22-yard line. Very high snap, nearly deflected. A nice sizable punt. Takes a tremendous Raiders bounce. And it'll be downed by Creed Peterson at the 10-yard line.
Raiders defense has to find a way to get a stop here. You can't give up another touchdown here. Writing may be on the wall. And now with 2 minutes and change, a couple of timeouts here for the Spartans. I mean, the playbook is still open for them. Nearly 3 minutes is more than enough time to get down the field, even if you want to stay committed to the rushing attack.
Well, especially the rushing attack they have.
And well, exactly, just a big play potential, right? And even downfield, we've seen some dynamic plays. You talk about Tavion McCoy on the outside. This offense can gain a lot of yards in a hurry.
Both teams have all of their timeouts. Dropping back, looking to throw, and McCoy catches it, but it is out of bounds.
Just sailed him a little bit there. He's wide open too. I mean, not a Raider defender within 10 yards or so, and throws it into the bench.
Yeah, you hate to see that one if you're head coach Chris Menson.
Never too late for the 50-50 raffle. For any of those in attendance.
Two and a half to go. Quick pass out in the flats. Catch is made by McCoy, and he is just absolutely wrapped up there by, I believe that's Reifenberger.
Rinso throw to number 2.
And he's injured.
Is that McCoy, or who do we have?
I believe that is McCoy.
Trainers will come out. It is McCoy. So one of the most versatile players on this Spartans offense is being tended to as we get a replay. Just a little swing pass. And looks like he just got kind of wrapped up on weird.
Sawyer Tomsland with the tackle. Can happen when you get wrapped up down low and you try to break out of it.
Yep, get wrapped up down low and you get hit up high. Kind of get sandwiched. And it looks like he's walking all right, so it doesn't appear to be too serious. We'll keep an eye on that.
Certainly would be a big loss for Simley.
They're down at 9. Sorry, 3rd and 12, ball on at 9.
So it is going to be 3rd and long. I mean, Raiders defense in a nice position here with 2 minutes and change left. Still 3 timeouts on the board. Get a stop here, potentially force a punt, get the ball back in plus territory. I mean, could be a real momentum swing for the end of this half.
Receiver in motion, comes up and blocks. Nelson with the stiff arm on Reifenberger to the outside.
Wow.
Pushing his way through. We'll have to see where they spot him on that one. Tough to tell from our angle. And
they're going to say he's short. Now an interesting spot here.
He got it pretty close.
Well, and that's the thing. You look at how many yards he got here on the replay. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. And he picks up 12 yards.
The yak that he has is incredible. Whether it's
100%.
Super low because he doesn't get touched, or super high and he just keeps on going.
Yeah, and honestly, that's an interesting point because I could see it going either way. I mean, the success that they've had. I mean, I'm assuming just based on what we've seen today, the offensive line has been good through the first 2 games of the season as well, considering they're undefeated. But yeah, if it's super high, it's his dynamic ability, and if it's not, it's credit to the offensive line.
Looks like a timeout is going to be called here by the Raiders. So we're just lining up for what looks like a regular play. Never know if they would have just snapped it and kicked it out of a shotgun.
Yep. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I can see obviously for the Spartans, I can see why you'd go for it here. You've still got 2 minutes left. You got a couple timeouts. It's 4th and short, and you've done more than enough. You have more than enough confidence with the ground game to pick up this first down. But also, I mean, it's kind of a risk in a game this lopsided as of now. Punt the ball away, get your defense back on the field.
Yeah, do you go for the kill shot or do you just play it
right
a little safe? How much do you respect the Raiders' offense to do anything if you can't make it?
Well, and that's the thing. You've only given up, if you're the Spartans here, you've only given up 7 points throughout basically the entire first half. I feel comfortable making them drive, punting the football away, making them drive 70 yards in a 2-minute drill.
Well, it certainly looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
QB sneak, maybe?
Yeah, we'll watch Renslow here, number 10. Takes it, hands it off to the fullback, Nelson. And they got the first down by a yard.
And off number 32, Gavin Nelson.
And it looks like we'll get Tavion McCoy heading back onto the field. So if you're a Spartans fan, that's a good sign. Yeah, just an old-fashioned fullback dive.
We've seen them run that a couple of times, and they haven't ran it to Nelson. They've ran it to the back furthest away from the line of scrimmage. So maybe a nice kind of change of pace and expectation.
Yep. Running a different play out of the same look, right? Given just changing up so it's unpredictable. And now for the Spartans, you're in attack mode.
Yeah, I would look for them to go deep here. Throwing the ball on the run, McCoy catches that in front of Spartans bench.
So McCoy taking a couple plays off. So we get a look there at McCoy. Taking a couple plays off, back in and not missing a beat. Oh, looks like ineligible man downfield. So Spartans going backwards.
First down.
Well, we haven't talked much about this, but what a well-coached, disciplined game by the Raiders. They really haven't been hampered by penalties at all, and conversely, a handful of pretty sizable plays have been negated from the Spartans.
Yeah, a 15-yarder wiped away on the first drive for the Spartans. Next drive, a holding play takes them backwards. But obviously you want to clean that up, but I think they'd sign up for a 19-point lead.
Well, yeah, that is true. Nelson, they're putting this kid to work with under 80 seconds to go.
So I'm a bit surprised at the play calling here. If you're going to go for it on 4th down, you'd think earlier in the drive, you'd think you'd try to attack here with 60 seconds left.
Well, if you're not going to attack, why not just
punt it away?
A knee?
Right.
Oh, yeah, or punt it. Catch is made for a small gain. Des Smith. Still holding on to all 3 of their timeouts. Somebody should tell them they don't transfer to the second half. On the run, inaccurate throw, a little too low. Vanderhoof in coverage.
Yeah, if I'm the Spartans here, I'd just start taking shots. Try to get McCoy in one-on-one and see if he can make some magic happen like he did nearly in the end zone 4 or 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, send some people deep and maybe send Nelson out on a swing so you have a dump down if you so desire. And obviously people don't want to throw interceptions, but if you throw a 40-yard interception here, what is it? What does it really
no damage
matter?
done, right?
Hurts the stat sheet, but doesn't hurt the flow of the game. 2nd down and 10. Quarterback's going to run for the ball there out at the 40-yard line.
Just slowly chipping away, getting out of bounds, taking advantage of the clock. It's going to be 3rd and 6 here.
Yeah, they really are kind of slowly but surely chipping away at it.
Yeah, started down inside their 20-yard line, and now they're kind of getting close to midfield out at the 38-yard line.
It's a sign of a mature offense. It's like I'm watching Aaron
Absolutely.
Rodgers. If you give Aaron Rodgers 7 yards with 50 seconds to go, he will take that every single time And just 1 yard elapsing, 7 yards gained. Just working their way down. Nearly a beautiful one-handed catch there for McCoy. Incomplete, 4th down and 6. Looks like the punting unit will come on here for the Spartans.
I think it's a really nice point. I mean, just about a mature offense and a mature football team. Obviously, if you're the Spartans, you'd like to do away with some of those penalties, but they've played outside of basically 3 penalties. They've played an excellent first half of football, and the scoreboard reflects it. So the punt unit comes on. Bezdicek back to receive. A couple of punts nearly blocked already. Not so much that time.
And about a 25-yard punt.
Bounces out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Now for the Raiders, I think you take a couple shots.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, you still have 2 timeouts. Not the worst field position.
You know, you're down 19 with less than 40 seconds to go in the first half. Nothing wrong with taking a few shots, trying to get yourself back in this ball game, going into the locker room. My goodness.
Got a rogue dragonfly up here in the stands.
That thing was huge.
Need a surface-to-air missile to knock that boy down.
I thought a pigeon was flying or something. I didn't know what.
Snap taken there by Milner. It completes pass to Rico Cooper. 49-yard line.
Rico Cooper. Stop by number 38. At number 30, Derek Dolman. 10-yard gain, Raider 1st down.
Chains move.
Clock will run. Raiders still with 2 timeouts. Got to hurry.
And somebody called a timeout. Simley's going to call a timeout. That's interesting.
So Simley, you've got to imagine they want to set up their defense. Either that or they just didn't like the look of what they had out there.
Or they wanted to get one last turn in at the Spartan raffle.
Hey, it's never too late. Support the school district, athletics, and maybe go home with a couple Benjamins in your pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
USA, baby. Gambling and football. So it will be a fresh set of downs here for the Raiders. 25 seconds remaining in this first half. And maybe a few shots to Bezdicek upcoming.
Yeah, we'll see. They certainly have a handful of targets they could go to.
Gonna need some decent protection up front. Give Milner some time.
Milner snap, bobbled it, fumble. And still waiting the signal. It's going to go to Simley.
And a recovery by your Simley Spartans. It's a fumble recovery. Sorry about that. Timeout, Hastings.
All right, so
Okay.
bit of a bait and switch there by the play-by-play guy up in the press box. Was not recovered by Simley. Was recovered by the Raiders. And a timeout was called.
Very odd how the referee closest to the ball gave it to Simley.
Now you got to think, I mean, do we just limit the damage and hand the ball off here? Or do you continue to take shots? I mean, you put the ball on the ground once on the first play of the drive, and do you go back to
Raiders
it?
retain the football.
Well, we're about to find out here. Milner dropping back, passes it. Near side, McCoy with the pass deflection.
Tavion McCoy's had a really nice ball game so far.
Broken up by number 2.
That one would have been a little spooky if he would have caught that one. A lot of open space.
And it would have been in the same zip code as where he caught the last one and went all the way to the house with it. Couple of dangerous plays here by the Raiders. It's going to be 3rd and long. Here with 13 seconds left. And it looks like they're lining up to potentially take one more shot.
Well, Milner drops out, rolls out far side. Pass is intended for Cooper, incomplete. 4th down and long upcoming with 8.5 seconds to go.
Now you punt. Send out the special teams unit, make a tackle, and go into the locker room.
So likely a couple of more plays to go before halftime. Punt unit out here for Hastings. That is a line drive of a punt. I'm surprised that was not blocked by either line.
That nearly went off the helmet of an offensive lineman.
But it works.
Maybe have we ever seen a squibbed punt? Is that what we just saw?
Might be the first squibbed punt.
Hey, 5D chess, right? I mean, just getting in the head of the defense.
They're playing 5D chess while they're playing checkers. Well, we got one.
Got to assume it's going to be take a knee here.
Well, that'd be quite the message if they didn't take a knee here.
5 wide. Verts.
Yes.
I tell you what.
And they'll take the knee, so at halftime, it's a 26-7 lead for the home Simley Spartans over your road Hastings Raiders.
Story of the game. Battle of the trenches, right? I mean, Simley has done just an excellent job on both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line, getting after it, winning at the line of scrimmage, and the scoreboard has reflected that.
Well, we'll see if the Raiders can turn around their fortunes here in the second half. For now, we'll send it to a break here on HCTV Sports.
Push that trash that way, not this way. Come on.
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business. So support HCTV today! Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
We present to you the talented Simley Fall Dance Team led by KT Hotchel.
Yeah, and I heard polar bears are gentle.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Simley Fall Dance Team. In 1987, Simley's athletic director, John Short, began the Simley High School Hall of Fame to promote and recognize accomplishments within our schools. Now it extends beyond just the tremendous high school accomplishments of these individuals, but looks to include postgraduate, humanitarian, and other notable achievements. Today, we welcome the Hall of Fame class of 2022.
All right.
First of all, I would like to recognize our director, Ron Holland. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would ask you to please take a moment of silence to remember one of those Hall of Fame members that we have lost recently, Mr. Bob Bierman. We please take a moment of silence. Thank you so much. Our first honoree, 1973 grad, Steve Rolfe. He was a three-sport athlete, baseball 2-year starter MVP his senior year, 2-year wrestling honorable mention. Main sport was football. He was a 3-year starter and a 2-year all-conference. Went on to Inver Hills, where he was just 2-time all-junior college safety and team captain. He finished at Northern Michigan University as a member of the 1977 D2 National Championship team and as a member of the Northern Michigan Hall of Fame. Finished Golden Gloves boxing with a 24-6 record. He has given back to athletics with volunteering with Simley football and coached youth sports in Inver Grove Heights, St. Michael, Albertville, Stillwater, and Woodbury. For 24 years, he was an assistant team photographer for the Minnesota Vikings. Now retired from 3M after 37 years. The plaque today will be presented by Hall of Fame member and future committee member, Mr. Ed Cassidy. Steve Rolfe, on behalf of the entire athletic accomplishment that you have succeeded, we welcome you to the Simley Hall of Fame. Our next inductee was not able to make it from Montana, Mike Caldwell, 1973 grad. He was also a 3-sport athlete. He was a 2-year starter in baseball and 3 years in football. In hockey, he was a 4-year letterman, twice all-conference, twice MVP, twice best named defensive player, while also being the leading scorer. moved on to the University of Wisconsin River Falls, where he was a 4-year letter winner, twice team MVP, an all-conference selection twice, and an NCAA Division II All-American, leading his team to 4 national playoff championship playoff trips. Now living in Colstrip, Montana, he is a member and leader of organizations such as the Montana Elk Foundation, Ducks Unlimited, and other local organizations. Through it all, his greatest honor is being a father and grandfather. The plaque today will be presented by committee member Gary Colopy, accepted by Steve Rolfe. Mike Caldwell, on the basis of athletic accomplishment, we welcome you to the Simley Hall of Fame. Joe Riggles graduated in 2012. Graduated an AP Scholar, involved with National Honor Society and Student Council. In gymnastics, she was honorable mention All-Conference and finished academic All-State. In soccer, she was a 6-time Letter Award winner, still holding the Simley record with 72 goals. She was a captain, MVP 2 years, 4 years All-Conference, All-State honorable mention 1 year, and All-State 2. And voted to the Miss Minnesota soccer player her senior year. She would go on to play D1 soccer for Cretan, where she was on the Missouri Valley Conference all-freshman team and is currently the 5th leading assists at Cretan. She now works at Wells Fargo and Financial Crimes. The plaque will be presented by committee member Jeff Eistad. Joe Riggles, on the basis of athletic accomplishment, welcome to the Simley Hall of Fame. Angela Guerin, a 1998 grad. She was captain and key gymnast on the 1997 state tournament team. Simley Most Valuable Gymnast for 3 years and a 5-time All-Conference. All-Section Team 5 years and 3 All-Conference state selection. Of the 4 Simley gymnastics events, she still holds school records in 3 events and is second in the other. In softball, she was a 3-year letter winner, 2-time All-Conference in section, and named to the 1998 All-State team. She was a 1998 Simley Athena winner for Simley Best Female Athlete. Angela went on to UW River Falls in gymnastics, where she was team MVP twice, and all WIAC gymnastics team. In softball, she earned the all WIAC honors twice and named to the Great Lakes Region 3rd Team All-American. She is a quality control manager and is president of River Falls Youth Softball. The plaque today will be presented by committee member Deanna Walsh. Angie Guerin, on the basics of athletic accomplishment, welcome to the Simley Hall of Fame. Colleen Sweeney, 1981 grad. Standout student and athlete. She participated in band, tennis, Spartans dance team, which finished first in the state, in track, running the 440 and throwing shot and discus. She was the MC for Simley synchronized swim team. Upon moving to the North Shores of Lake Superior in 1988, she experienced the thrill of driving the first sled dog team into the boundary waters. This has fueled a compassion for dog sled racing. Her first race was the 1995 John Bear Greets 100-mile race. Minor injury to her lead dog left her team shorthanded. After being stranded in the woods, starting a fire and camping on a trail for 7 hours at negative 20 degrees, she rested her team and was able to coax them to the finish line in dead last place. Since that humbling first race, she had become one of the top mushers in the state of Minnesota, finishing the female on the race circuit. She finished the 400-mile John Bear Grease race 22 times, which is more than any other female. She now competes in the 400-mile marathon race in Minnesota, Michigan, Maine, and Canada, and has finished in the top 5 finishers in 11 of the last 12 races. She has been acknowledged nationally by the CBS Network and World Magazine. Her thrill is this year she defeated her son, who's 20 years younger, by a mere 22 seconds in a 400-mile-an-hour race.
22 seconds.
When interviewed, she stated, "I never let him beat me at Candyland when he was 5, and I wasn't going to today either." Presenting the plaque will be committee member and Hall of Fame member Joe Atkins, Colleen Sweeney, and the basics of post-Simley accomplishment. We welcome you to the Simley Hall of Fame. Finally, the first Simley softball coaching staff, Tom Bergen, Jim Newman, and Marent of Russ Hanson. In 1978, Tom Begrich became coach of the inaugural Simley softball team. He would be joined by Jim Newman and Russ Hanson a year later. Together, they built a solid, productive program. 4 years later, would lead Simley into the large school state softball tournament. Between the years of 1980 and 2001, they suffered only one losing season, including 3 Minnesota Conference and 1 St. Paul Suburban title in their state tournament appearance. Their teams were constantly section tournament contenders and state-ranked teams. They would also team to create the Tri-County Softball Summer Program to help Southeast Metro girls get more experience playing competitive softball. Russ Hanson, a volunteer coach and professional fast-pitch pitcher, would coach pitchers developing top high school talent for the Spartans. Jim Newman was an honored 31-year elementary speech clinician who also was one of the first junior high soccer coaches, Simley sports official, and teacher union officer. Tom Begrich would be an elementary teacher and librarian for 41 years, also coaching football in various positions with basketball. He was also a teacher union official and a leader in the IGH teaching staff. Presenting their plaques will be committee member Kelly O'Donnell and committee member, fellow Hall of Fame member Kelly Darrow. Simley football coaches Tom Begrich, Jim Newman, and Miranda of Russ Hanson. Your contributions to Simley athletics, we welcome you to the Simley Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have one final round of applause for the class of 2022 Simley Hall of Fame. Congratulations and thank you.
want that. That's probably fun. But it's funny like that. Back in the day, you said when you were younger, like a cup of coffee, still a half cream, sugar, and black coffee, and before the guys, they literally come out of the pot and mud. And there wouldn't be no cream and no sugar. It's like, damn, man, that's so gross. He's like, good for you. No. Yeah. I know they always play this stuff. It's always whatever. I could be wrong. I turned on that music this morning. It was on the garage, working in the garage.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back your Simley Spartans.
No! You shook me. No way. Oh shit. That's fun. Come on now. This is great music for working out, bench pressing and stuff. You're gonna get that rolling in there when you're working out. But, getting up in the morning, probably not. That'll get him. What's new with you? Okay. What's new with you? No! Oh, damn, that's funny. Playing too sick, anything. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best, but moderation is supposed to be. It's done. Yep. How's good? Now, was this a planned activity or was it a wild Friday night? Well, one to live in their house for 1 year. 8 of us. Okay. Got on the I think that would be the last. The only thing, of course, is we all know it takes money to raise them. But it's a catch-22, but you know what? Actually, it's better to be younger. You can really keep up with them. Especially if they kind of have more money. So football weekend, you guys would probably say that. Is that what they're thinking? I mean, if they keep more power. It's the neighbors process.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inver Grove Heights as we get set for the start of the second half here between the Simley Spartans and the Hastings Raiders. At halftime, the score was 26-7. I'm your host, Owen Ely, here with my broadcast partner for the night, Reagan Hooverman. Reagan, it is sweltering out here, and things are not going so great for the road team.
It's not going so great for us in the stands, and it's not going great for the Raiders down on the sideline. But, hey, like we were talking about at the end of the first half and even during the halftime intermission, if Simley can score 26 points and a half, so can you. The Raiders can do it, but they're going to have to. I said it at the end of the first half, and I'll say it again here. You have to win at the line of scrimmage. They have just been, quite honestly, they've been forklifted off the line of scrimmage in terms of offensive line play. It's put Milner, the starting captain quarterback, under duress. It's impacted throws. It's led to a couple interceptions, even one of the pick sixes by Tavion McCoy, and it's led to the lopsided score. They got to win at the line of scrimmage if they want to have any chance of getting back in this ball game.
100%. And the thing is, you also have to play pretty much, I don't want to say perfect, but darn near perfect for, you can't you can't have any drives that stall out in your own zone and expect to win. You got to play really good if you want to come down 3 possessions against this team on the road.
Absolutely. You're down 19 points. Your back is against the wall. It is, and you have to kick. I mean, right? You have to kick, so Simley has another chance to score here. It is do or die time for the Raiders early in this third quarter and throughout this entire second half. It's got to start with a stop, though. Have to get a stop here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we said, the Raiders will kick off. Jack Sieben, the junior, gets the second half underway. Low line drive kick right out of the back of the end zone. And we'll start off the second half with a touchback.
So here comes this, what's shaping up to be a very potent Simley Spartans offense. You take a look at, aforementioned Tavion McCoy on the outside, a talented senior wide receiver, talented quarterback always, but then Gavin Nelson out of the backfield, the senior running back who's done so much damage in this game already and will likely continue if things don't change here in the second half for this Raiders defensive line.
Yeah, it really seems like offensively they have all of their positions squared away.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a mature, experienced quarterback, so much talent at the wide receiver and running back positions, and a stout offensive line.
They'll fake the handoff, throw, caught on the run, a lot of space. Bad geometry there from the Raiders. He's going down the sideline, stiff arm, taken out of bounds at the 32-yard line. David Goggins with the catch. And just like that, one play later, they are deep in Raiders territory.
And the speed is very apparent here. I mean, just blazing right by Raiders defenders, streaking down the sidelines and getting into plus territory here after just one play. Ball spotted at the Raiders' 36-yard line.
A back on either side of the quarterback, Renslow. Hands it off to the far side back. I believe that's Nelson, and he will fall forward for a gain of about 4.
Tackled by number 63, Austin LaFleur. Gain of 4, second and 6.
Just look at the size of that offensive line. I mean, my goodness.
Massive. I mean, they don't have the heights and weights listed, but That looks like a D3 college line.
I was going to say, it looks like a 6'3", 6'4" line.
Ooh, a run right up the middle. Another first down here for Simley off the scramble there from Renslow.
Tackled by number 7, Ian Tuckle. Result of the play, it's another Simley Spartan first down.
As we see the chains move one more time. We'll get a replay right here. Man in motion. And a little option quarterback keeper right up the middle. Moving the sticks.
Two high safeties switching for the Raiders. They'll fake the throw, run up the middle, and a gang tackle on Nelson. Gain of about 2.
Tackled by number 8, Aaron Vanderhoff. Gain of 1, second and 9.
It seems like both teams taking quite a bit of time to get their play call in and get to the line of scrimmage. Not very much tempo for either side here this afternoon.
Well, not a whole lot of urgency for Simley at this rate. Run up the middle, and that is likely going to move the chains here.
Up the middle.
And it looks like they're going to move the chains. Yeah, and good point by you there. I mean, if you're Simley, you would love a 5-6 minute drive that ends in points and really put even more pressure on this Raiders defense.
We're going 5 wide here. McCoy in motion. And they'll run the ball with the quarterback on a 5 wide motion. Don't see that every day.
What a unique play call.
Well, just when you think they're going to pass.
Tackled by number 24, Tom Kennedy.
Nice job by the Raiders right there, attacking, sealing the edge, and then making a tackle. Although, well, I mean, like you said, Simley not exactly doing themselves any favors by running a quarterback keeper on 5 wide.
No.
Back to the shotgun.
We'll settle for 4 wide here. Man in motion. They'll use that motion man as a blocker for Goggin. Small gain on the play.
Hand off to number 3, David Goggin.
Seen a lot less of Gavin Nelson here on this opening drive.
Well, speak of the devil.
3rd down and 8 for Simley.
Maybe trying to get other players reps, honestly, at this point.
Well, it's working. They have that stable of 3 backs today. By the way, I really love that man in motion and then using the man in motion to chip in on a block.
As a
That's
block.
so creative.
I agree. Raiders bringing the pressure.
QB keep, and that's going to be a loss on the play. Sack from Brady Nickel.
It's going to be 4th and long here. Some of the kicking woes they had on PATs earlier in the first half, you got to wonder if they're going to kick here or potentially maybe take one shot to the end zone.
I don't know how comfortable I would feel kicking the ball, especially from this distance.
I agree. I think you take a shot here. Maybe go back to Mr. McCoy, who's been so effective on the outside.
Well, we know what the crowd wants. Critical 4th down here early in the second half. Throwing that one wide open, but he overshoots McCoy. Busted coverage there, unfortunately, for the Raiders, but doesn't come back to bite him there.
Sometimes you got to have a little luck to go along with play call and talent, and certainly right there, the Raiders cashing in on a lucky play, if you will, overthrowing a wide open touchdown. But now is a chance. I mean, you get your stop. They're trailing still 19 points, 7.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. But a touchdown here, I mean, it at least starts to make things slightly interesting if you're the Raiders. But it's going to take quite a long drive.
Well, they're going to have to go 84 yards if they want to score here on this drive. High snap, low handoff. Burrow, they are trying to strip the ball from him. A lot of commotion afterwards. McCoy seemingly thinks that they have the ball, but it looks like the Raiders will hold on.
Letting them play deep into the pile. I know how much you love that.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Big fan of that.
It's every ACL's favorite.
That's every surgeon's favorite.
Wow, yeah. God forbid we ever blow the whistle any sooner than 5 seconds after it's supposed to be blown. Clock ticking, less than 7 to go here in the third quarter, 26-7 against the good guys. Handoff in motion, and Bezdacek taken down at the 24-yard line.
I'd like to play with a little bit of a sense of urgency here. You're down multiple scores in the third quarter, and we're just getting to the line and, you know, just hanging out. And how about we run a little tempo and try to get things moving?
Slow and steady wins the race, Reagan.
Slow and steady might run out of time.
We're certainly on the way to finding out. Now an ever-important 3rd down and 7 here for the Raiders offense back in their own territory. Nelson, pressure up the middle, the interior of the offensive line. Good job blocking. Rico Cooper with the catch at the 40. Extends his arm out to the 42-yard line. Not a lot of tempo here, but that was one heck of a play by just about everybody on the team.
And that's what happens. I mean, you see a replay right there making guys miss. That's just beautiful rack yardage. But also, offensive line blocks well on that play. You get an absolute strike of a ball, and suddenly you're making first downs. We need to see more of that on this drive.
Fake the handoff, rolling to the right. The QB slinging it, nearly caught, nearly intercepted. 50-50 ball, and it came up 0 for both sides.
Yeah, targeting Vincent Zion there, the 6-foot junior running back out of the backfield. Like you said, I mean, just a true 50-50 ball right there. Could have gone either way. Thought it was potentially caught and maybe picked off. And I think if you're the Raiders, it's a sigh of relief to see that one fall to the turf.
Yeah, boy, how would that be for a drive killer? Just north of 5 minutes ago, 2nd and 10. Following the incompletion, standing tall, quick release. Cooper through the hands, intercepted by Simley down the far side. And forced out of bounds and onto the track at about the 30-yard line. Des Smith with the interception, and I fear that was a drive killer I was just talking about.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely crushing play here. And the thing is, I mean, it's a little too high. I mean, you take a look at it, Rico Cooper's already off the ground, elevating as far as he can. It's still on his fingertips. That ball needs to be about, a foot and a half lower. But it's a play you probably can make, but you're certainly not expected to make. I mean, that would have been a spectacular catch. You just hate to see that it ends up in a turnover.
And so much of the play was so good. The protection, the route running, even the throw was good. But sometimes if it's just 8 inches too high, and wow, they are going for the kill shot here. It is intercepted by the Raiders at the 20, 25, returning it, cuts to the outside, and they'll take it back to the 32-yard line. So that's a loss of about 10 yards when you factor in both the interceptions.
That's the junior defensive back, Sawyer Tomslin. So a nice play right there as we see a replay. I mean, that is such an ill-advised throw, just a true 50-50 ball, and that one goes the way of the Raiders. And for as much as I praised Simley in the first half with how they played, the Raiders have played a nice third quarter so far. I know the score hasn't changed, but now you forced 2 turnovers, 1 on downs, and 1 with the interception, and the offense has looked better. The line has certainly protected better. And I'd like to see him go back to the air here. I mean, they had some effectiveness on the last drive, and I'd look for him to go right back to it.
Well, the Raiders potentially back from the dead. That one caught by Bezdicek. Going down the near side of the field. Nobody's going to catch him as he looks back. Touchdown, Hastings Raiders.
Johnny Bezdicek results in a touchdown.
That is exactly what they needed. What a swing of fortunes from the interception to the Raiders interception. We'll take another look at the replay here. Walk me through it, Reagan Hooverman.
I mean, just an absolute seed, splitting the coverage, and then it's turn on the jets, right? Hit the nos, kick it into extra gear, and find the end zone. Just great speed. He's such a talented wide receiver that you got to find a way to get him the ball. It's not only the size, but it's that speed to break away from the defense, and certainly a well-run route right there as well. And suddenly this game's a little interesting, pending the PAT here.
Kick is easily deflected there.
Well, still a 13-point contest here, 26-13, 4 minutes and change remaining in the third quarter. And I mean, if the Raiders can find a way to get off the field one more time here, suddenly we're back in business.
Well, I don't know what Dana Strain told them in the locker room or what they did, but the adjustments outside of the kind of fluky interception,
yeah,
it looked very good.
No, it's been genuinely outstanding. I've really liked. I don't know if they. Hey, maybe it was just that pep talk to the offensive line. You boys need to step it up, and certainly through this opening third quarter here, the second half, they've been excellent. They've done a really nice job, and I think it's settling in and committing to the passing attack. Yeah, there were some chunk plays there in the first half, but this second half it's been more methodical, and then you get the breakaway play. Hats off to the Raiders so far.
Here's the thing, Reagan Hooverman. You can lose a game in the first half, but you sure as heck can't win a game in the first half. Two returners back deep, and they go with the onside kick.
Ah!
Oh my, the Raiders out.
Oh my
Still waiting for an official call, and that ball is going the way of the Raiders.
Momentum swing, baby. Here we go. This is it.
Call to the play. First down.
What a brilliant call.
We get a touchdown, onside kick, some cloud cover here in the stands, man. This is what it's all about.
You know, they tried that against St. Thomas, the game we called. Maybe, and we're going to talk about here from Simley. Didn't quite work out, but wow.
And you think about...
Kick them when they're down.
Yeah, and you think about the Simley timeout right here. They're reeling, right? I mean, you just gave up an absolute nuke of a touchdown after turning it over. Failed to recover the onside kick, and suddenly you're on the ropes a little bit here.
They are on the ropes. They're waiting to get saved by the bell here. They're gasping for air.
They are.
Raiders
Spitting
just
some
hit 'em
teeth
with
out. They're trying to.
They're spitting chiclets right now. They got cracked with the overhand right, and then they just got a shot to the body right here.
Oh no!
You know what this is? It's a standing 8 count right now.
Oh
it's a
man!
Standing 8 count. Shot of the Raiders faithful. Finally enjoying some shade.
Student
God, about
section.
time.
Oh man, I agree. Hopefully that continues, and hopefully this outstanding third quarter for the Raiders continues, as it looks like they'll have the ball. I mean, I think it's spotted at the 47-yard line of Simley. Fresh set of downs. 4 minutes, 31 seconds to go in this third quarter.
And the defense is tired. They haven't had a chance to rest. You're putting them right back out there.
I'd go right back to the air. I'd continue attacking the DBs. I mean, Simley's done a nice job this game of, like I said, winning at the line of scrimmage, but these Raiders have won this third quarter on the outside.
I mean, Daniel Milner, I mean, who's this? Is this Josh Allen? He's just slinging the pigskin out there. Rolls out to the opposite side, throws down the field, and that one just a little bit short.
Miller pass incomplete, intended for number 6, Rico Cooper. Second and 10 Raiders.
And you got to think, just with how this third quarter has gone and where the ball is, I know we're only on second down, but you got to think this is 4-down territory the whole way through. I mean, just with the success that the Raiders have had through the air in this third quarter. And the scoreboard. I mean, obviously this has been a nice start to the half for Hastings, but you're still trailing by 13 points with 4 minutes and change to go in this third frame.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel so confident if it wasn't 4-down territory.
Right.
Tight end in motion. Hands it off, up the middle, and that one, lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Number 32, Peyton Burrow. Stopped by number 32, Gavin Nelson, at 71, Hunter Collins.
Now a big third down here. Try to,
No gains.
honestly, if you convert, it's nice, but just try to even get yourself into 4th and manageable. Maybe make it, 4th and 4, 4th and 5. Give yourself a chance to open up the playbook.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to get all of it back here. Would be nice, though.
Right. It would be ideal to convert here, but you do have, I mean, realistically, you do have 2 goes at it here.
Well, Milner surveying the defense. Takes the snap, looking left, throws that one, and Bezdicek with the catch. The stiff arm and falls forward at the 25. A little bit of a dangerous pass there, but when it goes your way, it goes your way.
He's just so outstanding, and hopefully we can get another look at that one as we do. Here comes the replay. Ball doesn't come out super clean. He gets hit on the throw, but I mean, when you've got a talent on the outside like that, sometimes a 50-50 ball is more like a 90-10 ball.
Well, it's always tricky if you're a receiver trying to catch over the top of a defender underneath you. That favors the defensive back so heavily.
And that's one-on-one coverage. I mean, it's this old-fashioned man coverage right there on the talent on the outside. And it's a first down for the Raiders.
Burrow the back. Hands it off to Burrow. Tries to cut onto the outside. It's stripped away from him. Chasing them down the near side of the field. It's Gavin Nelson. Can he get him? Burrow on Nelson. 32 on 32, and 32 wins. Touchdown for the Simley Spartans, and that negates a lot of the momentum right there. 75-yard
strip six.
Strip six. Yeah, we've seen a pick six, and now we got a strip six. Coach Chris Menson flexing to his players on the bench there.
And if you're the Raiders, if you're a fan, I mean, you just got to be sick to your stomach, right? I mean, it was just an absolutely sensational start to the third quarter. You force a turnover. You score a touchdown on a big play. Recover an onside kick, and you're driving. You have a chance to bring it within 1 score. And it goes strip six, 75 yards the opposite way. And now it just feels, I mean, it just feels out of reach, right? I mean, just all of your momentum that you spent the last 10 minutes of game time building, gone in about 12 seconds.
2-point conversion here, trying to power his way through, and whoa, he is stripped down right there. Not powering his way through that one. So just 6 points, but that's, I mean, we got 14 minutes left. I'm not going to be Captain Negative, but that might have been your dagger right there.
It's another Spartan touchdown.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just think about, obviously, you know, it's classic loser talk, right? We're a play or two away. We're just a play or two away, but man, if you take a look at the pick six and the strip six, I mean, it's 14 points off the board, and suddenly you're right in this ball game.
Well, in credit to Burrow, you saw him try to chase down Gavin Nelson, never gave up on the play, chasing him 75 yards.
I mean, you take away those two, the pick six and the strip six, and it's a one-possession game. Yeah,
you know, things looking a little bleak for the Raiders on the road. still possible. Obviously, crazier things have happened, but I will say, not that you ever want to think like this necessarily, but this has been a really good second half. It's a distinct possibility you might come out of here with an L, but I think there's a lot of things that you can take away from this game, especially the way the offense reacted, how they got the passing game into the game, how the offensive line started,
had a really nice third quarter.
Yeah. So, you might drop this one. Who knows? We'll see. A big play gets you right back where you were just a minute ago, but a lot of things to like. Cooper at the 8-yard line to the inside, in between the hashes. There was some space there at one point.
And you just think about it. I mean, how many times throughout the season is a defense on either side going to score 14 points in a ball game? I mean, it's almost never, right? So it's just an unfortunate way that the Raiders have trailed this game. I mean, hey, give credit where credit's due to Simley's defense. They've made the plays, but man, there's just so much to like in this third quarter for Hastings.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll have the Raiders breaking the huddle here, starting off this drive here at the 32. Milner, shotgun snap, the quick throw, the catch. Swung around, but a gain of about 6 there for the Raiders.
Jack Cloutier, tackled by number 2, Tavion.
Jack Cloutier with the catch. We'll take a look here.
And this is what I was talking about in that first half. I mean, that's a curl. It's like a 10-yard curl. He comes back a couple yards. You get whatever it ended up being. You get 7 on it. And suddenly you have second and short and you can do whatever you want. I mean, that's what I was talking about with some of those short routes. Get your guys ahead of the sticks, get them ahead of the chains, and give yourself some more opportunities against what has proved to be a really nice Simley defensive line this afternoon.
You were doing your best Collinsworth there. I was expecting you to say, now here's a guy.
Now here's a guy who can reel in any ball.
Milner overthrows Bezdacek. They have really shifted from running the ball to passing the ball.
They have, and I think it's why we've seen some success. And give credit to the Raiders coaching staff, right? You talk about Dana Strain and the guys that they have on that side of the field over there. I mean, they clearly made some adjustments at halftime, and it proved to be very fruitful in this third quarter. I've really liked the adjustments they've made.
Third down and 3, less than 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Two receivers up top, bobbles the snap. He'll just try to keep it himself, and he'll be taken down for a loss of 1.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to muff the snap on a critical third down.
4th and 4.
So it's going to be, I mean, realistically, you hate to be a, ambulance chaser here, but this could be the ball game if Hastings doesn't convert this.
Home student section.
I think you go back to the air here.
And they do. The throw nearly intercepted by McCoy, but it's caught. It's caught by Cloutier.
And you got to think McCoy, for as great of a game as he's had, he has a chance to just bat that down and force it over on downs. He tries to go for the interception. Let's take another look at it here on the replay. McCoy, number 2 there in the lower part of your screen. I mean, he can bat that ball down, and it's a turnover. Goes for the pick. It's a tip drill for the Raiders. And Jack Cloutier converts.
Well, McCoy has realistically had like 4 opportunities at an interception, and I believe he's had 2 of them. Milner, pressure off the edge, throwing that one, double coverage A few yards ahead of Bezdicek.
Intended for number 10, Johnny Bezdicek.
Looks like he got bumped there coming off the line of scrimmage. Maybe that's why it just timing was off. .32 seconds remaining in this third quarter of action. Raiders trail 32-13. And it will be a 2nd and 10 at the Hastings 48-yard line.
Burrow the back to the left. We'll have Bezdicek in the slot. Looking Bezdicek's way. Completes the pass at the 49. Falls forward at, we'll say, the 48 of the Spartans.
Pass to Johnny Bezdicek, tackled by number 13, Jake Stanton. Number 3, David Goggins.
See if they can squeeze one more play off here.
There we were going a little tempo. That's what I was asking for earlier.
Minor football fans, concessions are available, including coffee.
So it will be the 2nd timeout of the half taken for the Simley Spartans. And now that we've got a break in the action, just want to remind everyone,
We have several exciting.
I'm just running a video ad as a heads up.
okay, HCTV Sports is supported by Biermeyer Financial Management, Retirement, Planning, and Expertise. Huge shout out to them for supporting not only HCTV, but more specifically HCTV Sports, and allowing us to help broadcast, not even home games, but also road games as well, like we're doing here at Simley High School. So thanks to them, and back to the action. Only one timeout left for the Spartans. Probably not too much of a concern, right? You're leading 32-13, but you never know. Second half timeouts change a lot of things potentially.
Well, I think they learned that they couldn't, that you can't keep timeouts you don't use. So not using any in the first half, maybe they're a little eager to use them here in the second. Likely the last play here of the third quarter. Milner snap, looks down the middle, nearly intercepted. That one, I believe, was going to Burrow, and we have reached the end of the third quarter. 32-13 lead for the Spartans over your Hastings Raiders.
The Raiders of Hastings 13. We'd like to special thank you to our community.
I'm Haley Noring, and this is my daughter Chloe. We live in Hastings, Minnesota. Chloe will never get to know her uncle Devin. My brother Devin died of fentanyl poisoning on April 4th, 2020. Through Snapchat, Devin and his friend bought what they believed was a Percocet. It wasn't. It was a fake pill made of 100% illicit fentanyl. My brother didn't want to die. My family had to learn what fentanyl was after it was too late. What happened to my family could just as easily happen to yours. If we would have known about fentanyl sooner, maybe we could have saved Devin's life. You still have time to have that life-saving conversation with your children and loved ones. Illicit fentanyl is the leading cause of death for ages 18 to 45. Every 5 minutes in the US, illicit fentanyl kills someone's brother, son, father, mother, or loved one. Call 911 if someone you know is overdosing. Call United Way's 24/7 helpline by dialing 211 to find resources in and near Hastings. Contact United Way of Hastings or visit their website, unitedwayofhastings.org, for more resources or to make a donation. You can save a life by working with me and the United Way of Hastings to build awareness and reduce the stigma of overdoses and fentanyl poisonings. One pill can kill.
Well, back to action here at the start of the fourth quarter. Spartans leading 32-13. Raiders with the ball here on 4th and 7.
Seeing a lot of slushies in these stands, man. A lot of slushies. I wish I had one.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Want one of them blue raspberry ones from over there.
Ooh, that is probably the best flavor. I don't know if they got lime, but
that seems to be the consensus here in the stands as well. Seeing a lot of blue raspberry out there.
well, I don't think they would have too many lemon snow cones here at this game.
No.
Sticking with the Spartans colors. 4th and 7. Milner takes the snap. Short drop back down the middle of the field, and maybe a little contact, but they're going to let him play right there. Turnover on downs.
Pass targeted for number 86.
And I got to say, that's my biggest pet peeve in sports broadcasting, that the PA, who I'm sure is a lovely guy here at Simley, did. They do this all the time with March Madness. They always say the team name and then the city. Like the Raiders of Hastings.
Yep.
Nobody has ever called them that. They are the Hastings Raiders.
Yep, that's right.
The Spartans of Simley.
Yeah.
Just sounds so foreign.
I hear that a lot. It's
annoying.
Yeah.
It's like nails on a chalkboard. I don't know if anybody else feels that, but every time I watch the Selection Sunday, it just gives me an aneurysm listening to them do that for every team. The Golden Gophers of Minnesota.
Yeah, the Badgers of Wisconsin. I don't know if we'll be hearing our name called this year.
No.
Our recruiting class was like 60th in the country.
Catch is made. Fighting for that first down. A nice tackle at the end there from Creed Peterson.
David Goggin, the senior running back. I mean, he's had a nice game. It's been kind of quiet, but he's provided that 1-2 punch for when Gavin Nelson isn't in the ball game. Just another one of those swing passes like we talked about, basically an extension of the rushing attack. And been really impressed with how the Simley offensive staff has called this ball game.
Now David Goggin, this is a guy who provides a great change of pace for Gavin Nelson.
I gotta work one in here in the last 11 minutes.
I got faith in you. Man in motion, Renslow handing it off to number 1, speedy number 1, taken down at the 31-yard line. That's Dom Levros.
A lot of seniors on this squad, like we talked about. I mean, astute point by you. Just with the maturity of this ball game and these players and this staff, it's been very apparent here today. And it makes sense when you look up and down the roster, right? Just a bunch of 12s. There's not a single, there's literally not 110 in the first 30 names of the football roster. Except for the one in the shotgun.
I see what you did there. 10 with the snap. Off to Nelson. Slips past one tackle there from a Raiders linebacker, a gain of 7.
Tackled by number 30, Ryan Clemens. It's all to the play. It's another Simley Spartan first down.
Taking their time, getting the play call in, rightfully so. Got to milk the clock if you're the Spartans here. Take as much time as you can off and punch it in would be ideal if you're a fan of Simley.
Back on either side, handing it off to Nelson, powering his way forward.
32, Gavin Nelson, to the 15-yard line. Tackled by number 46. Alton Mikic. Looks to be another Spartan first down.
Exactly 10 minutes to go here in regulation.
Clock continues to run. Have to assume they go back to the ground here.
Fake the throw, handoff up the middle, and a short gain.
Handoff to number 22, Danny Martin.
Yet another new face in the backfield for Simley.
It's a run of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Everyone's getting some touches today. That stable is deep. I think if you're the Raiders here, Obviously, you need to stop, but I think they're just trying to make the final score look a little better at this point.
I would say that's a fair assessment. Milking the clock there. Back corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Simley Spartans. Renslow to Des Smith.
It's a touchdown pass to number 4, Des Smith.
It's another senior. And I guess if you're a fan of the Raiders, the most exciting part is next year all these weapons will be gone, right? I mean, it's just a bunch of seniors.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, that's part of layering a roster. You gotta, if you're Simley, that one might have been tipped but goes through. 39-13. But if you're Simley, you gotta make your final stand this season because you're gonna have a lot of fresh faces.
Yeah, this is, I don't know a whole lot about this Simley program, but every now and then, every 5 or 10 years, a school in a specific athletic program has one of those classes, right, that they've been waiting for. When these freshmen become seniors, just given the talent that they have and how many seniors they have, this could be one of those classes where it's just, it's a once every 5 or 10 years, you wait for a group of kids like that.
Yeah. Very true, especially, when you're undefeated.
Yeah, looks to be a 3-0 start to the season here for the Spartans. It probably makes this home crowd want to jump around.
Yeah, well, better jump around here because there's not a whole lot of jumping around in Madison, Wisconsin.
No, there isn't.
How about that loss to
Speaking
Washington State?
Dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're not any good.
I can see that.
And guess who who we have next week?
Who?
Ohio State.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Badgers up 35-0 right now.
Long for the days of Alex Hornibrook.
Hey, we're beating Jerry Kill's New Mexico State team right now.
Oh boy, well that's not a difficult task.
38 donut for you guys there.
Well, I think the Simley Spartans probably could beat Jerry Kill's New Mexico State, the way they're playing today.
Offensive line, certainly. This is a really good line. I mean, it's like you said. It genuinely does not look like a high school line. Just the size and the weight that they have there. I mean, you've got kids up front who are probably 6'4", 260.
Well, we've seen enough D3 football to know what a D3 offensive line looks like, and a lot of people will tell you, this looks like a WIAC offensive line, and a lot of people will tell you that WIAC, that's basically D2. I mean, that's as good as D3 gets.
Yeah, it's every single year, 4 or 5 schools out of the WIAC are ranked top 25 nationally football programs.
Had that one fella play for the Buccaneers. I don't think he made the roster, but
yeah, I think he was actually Ben Bizey, All-American tight end for the Falcons. I think he was in the last round of cuts.
It's unfortunate.
Going down from whatever it is, I think it's like 68 or 69 guys down to 53.
Well, it's a real tragedy. There's that the best player to come out of River Falls never made it.
Owen Schomer?
Well, he was pretty good. He actually probably should have made it, but Alex Herring.
Oh, man. Remember you got to look from the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they didn't look hard enough.
That's true. You don't think they could use more weapons?
Oh, boy, they could use him right now. Pass incomplete. We got a new quarterback in here for the Raiders. It's Cody Ellsworth.
Quarterback spot. Pass. For number 10, Johnny Vesnick. Broken up by number 1, Donald Leatherworth. 3rd and 5. And off to number 32, Peyton Curl. Results, Raiders first
first down.
No, he wants me to let him eat stuff off the ground.
Corey Ellsworth pass. Incomplete. Defended by number 12, James Diaz-Lopez. Second and 10 from the 41.
You just don't want to stop that sheet. Are we back?
Why is it at such a low frame rate?
Pitch number 32. Nate Burrow.
$60, 6'3", 200, 6'6", 270, 6'4", 340, and 6'6", 310.
That must be the center. Well, we greatly appreciate whoever handed that to us.
So your line could be 6'3", 200, 6'2", 260, 6'6", 270, 6'4", 340, and 6'6", 310. That is legitimately a collegiate offensive line.
I could almost guarantee you that there's no 6'4", 340 offensive lineman in the WIAC.
That is ridiculous. Major shout out to whoever delivered that. That's such
Ellsworth almost intercepted, trying to get that to Bezdicic, who comes up a little bit limp there, but looks like he's all right. Fourth down.
Wow, that is. And the thing is, you talk about some of these kids, senior, junior. They have one junior on the offensive line.
Good golly. They got some hog mollies on that offensive line.
It really is a.
How about that for advanced stats? Who needs?
It's impressive.
Who needs next gen stats from a place I can't mention when you got just good-hearted folks out here in the stands?
You gotta wonder if they're going to. Looks like they're gonna punt here. I wouldn't mind a shot to Bezdicic, right? Just on the outside, lob one up. He's come down with a couple 50-50 balls this afternoon, but we're going to get a surrender index on that one.
That one, not the... Wow, with that punt. What a great stop there by Mr. 46, Alton Majitek.
I think that was a 12-yard punt.
I mean, you know, at this point, you know, there truly is no difference between losing by 7 and losing by 56. If you lose, you lose.
Right. No, I agree.
Might as well try some things out. Who cares? I mean, a lot of people care, but, you know, the game's
Hey, a loss is a loss. I mean, you know. Obviously, the feeling is different, but the win column doesn't discriminate. As we see, the next broadcast is Hastings Raiders volleyball, Thursday, September 22nd, at home, Hastings High School. 7 p.m. HCTV Sports will be there. Unfortunately, I will not.
That is a crying shame.
Handoff to number 44.
Hey, unless they want to make you and me full-timers. Hey. You never know.
If we get a canopy, I'm open.
Weirder things have happened.
It's the mandate of the masses. If the people demand it, who are we to deny the people?
Hey, just a public servant out here, right? I mean, just doing good for the community.
Absolutely. I do this out of the goodness of my heart.
And for a few George Washingtons.
Well, yeah. Handful. Another run up the middle, cutting to the outside. What a sizable run there. Turned a run that probably should have been 3 yards into near 20. That was Charlie Boltman.
Result of the play, it's a Spartan.
While the play call comes in, just want to take a second to thank Town Square TV for picking up the game. Bit of a lopsided contest, but spreading content all over the metro. So,
what does that? Does that mean we get double pay?
No, I don't think that's how it works. I haven't been confirmed on that, but I don't think that's how this one's gonna go.
You're telling me we don't get royalties for rebroadcasts? That's okay. I got to talk to my agent after this.
Yeah. So for representing.
Well, anybody who's tuning in on Town Square is definitely happy at this performance. Looks like they have a legitimate conference contender here.
Oh, 100%. I cover sports in Western Wisconsin, so I don't know anything about these schools over here. But I mean, this Simley football team has looked really, really good today, and just getting the data on that offensive line, my goodness, that can take you places.
How do you? So they have one member on that offensive line who's 210. A lot of these defensive linemen for any team, are going to be like 210, 220, maybe 240 if you're really big.
Maybe.
How do you move somebody who's 340? Like, how do you?
Well, that's the thing. You basically don't. When you go up against an offensive line with that much size, you have to rely on speed. You have to be quicker. You have to find a way to get around them. It's why defensive ends are always some of the most athletic people on the field, because they can get the edge on those big tackles. It just, it just hasn't happened today too much for the Raiders, and it's hard. I mean, even if the offensive line isn't very fast, it's still hard to get around someone who's 6'6", 340, right? I mean, like it's not an easy task, especially at the high school level.
Well, and from my time at Town Square, I can tell you Simley's been a pretty competitive football team ever since I started covering them in 2019. I want to say 2019, maybe 2020. I could be wrong, but I believe in the final game of the season, they won the conference over their hated rivals, the South St. Paul Packers, at this very field. And when they interviewed all the seniors at the end of the game, and they asked them, "Hey, what's your biggest moment? What are you the most proud of from your time here?" That was the first time any of those seniors had beaten South St. Paul, if I remember, certainly for the championship. Conference championship, and invariably all of them said
outstanding.
That win was the biggest win they had during their time in this program.
What a way to go out, right? Go out on top and have a memorable game.
Yeah, head coach Chris Menson. I believe I covered his first season, so I think he's been here since about 2019, and man, he's just had a lot of success.
So he's had a couple of years now to kind of build a program and install what he wants to do, and kind of make the coaching staff how he wants to make it. And clearly, it's paying dividends. I mean, they've looked really well in the first two games, and it's continued here in week 3.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see. Who knows how the playoffs work out, but that's one heck of a speculation. But we're not going to see Simley again this season. But this is definitely a team that I will keep tabs on, because they are interesting.
I don't know, kind of putting you on the spot here. Where do they play the state championship games? Do they do that at US Bank, or where do they?
When I covered it, they did it at US Bank. I would imagine every year it's at US Bank. But when I
kind of figured it would be a central location like that. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, like what is it? They'll pick a random location for the conference, for the playoffs.
For the playoffs, regionals, and then sectionals, and yeah.
Because when I was at Town Square, we covered a road game that was actually played at Hastings.
Okay.
Because that was the neutral site. But yeah, I think once you get into the state championship, it's
right.
The US Bank. It'd be very disappointing if it wasn't. If they just changed that.
Right. If they're playing it, or you could. Obviously, US Bank is just a world-class facility, so it makes sense. But a lot of states do it at big-time Division I college stadiums, like Wisconsin plays theirs at down in Madison.
And there's a lot of nice stadiums as we get a run up the middle here for increasing gain. But there's a lot of nice stadiums. But imagine if they said, "Hey, this is your first time playing in the state championship in 50 years. We're going to play it at TCO Field. Very, very nice, awesome.
Yep.
The Viking facility is very cool.
But it's not the same.
Oh, I was kind of expecting 70,000.
I was kind of hoping, I was kind of hoping we could get an announced attendance of 88,000.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of time here for number 5. Rolls out, trying to beat the edge, cuts to the inside, and taken down after a small gain, under 2 minutes to go, clock running. I mean, hopefully Hastings can turn it around, make it to U.S. Bank Stadium. I know you and me were the youngest ever, first ever people to broadcast a basketball game from U.S. Bank Stadium.
We beat Jim Nance to it. We beat Jim Nance and Kevin Harlan. We did it before him.
First game of the, I don't even know what they called it, the Classic.
Yeah, some sort of.
St. Thomas robbed, absolutely robbed. I know that if you're listening from Town Square, probably a lot of St. Thomas fans, or not, but definitely robbed River Falls. Julian Jackson.
Yeah.
4 fouls that never happened.
Matt Keller.
Unfortunate.
That whole squad. Julian Jackson, good guy. Really liked my time with Julian. We lived in the same dorm for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, Julian's a nice guy.
Minneapolis's own. And he could that one nearly caught.
Julian could drop the hammer. I mean, he could lay wood down there sometimes.
He's a big guy.
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
Yeah. Athletic too.
He does not have the profile of a D3 basketball player.
Yep.
Although, of course, we're very happy to have him.
It's like an eligible man downfield. Last 62 seconds here, just a formality. As Simley leads 39-13 and will improve to 3-0 for the season. Raiders dropping to 1-2.
Well, they fought valiantly. You know, it's crazy how close this game felt when they
in the third quarter.
In the third quarter, when they scored and when they got that onside kick, we'll get a run up the middle for a first down, past the logo into positive territory. But it really felt, close, and there's some things to clean up, certainly defensively. But again, how many offensive lines this size are you going to face? So you don't want to make an excuse, but because there's stuff to improve. But you know, there's a lot to like.
I don't want to be super hyperbolic, and I don't know Minnesota sports at the high school level that well, but I can't imagine there is a more physical offensive line in the state. I mean, seriously, it's legitimately a college offensive line.
Yeah, Burdick with the catch there.
Now that doesn't mean they're the best team in the state. Don't get me wrong there, but I mean just controlling the line of scrimmage like they did today, and I'm assuming they did in the first 2 games, considering the outcomes. Just outstanding.
Time for one final play here. Ellsworth drops back. Throw, the catch is made. Working his way up the sideline as time expires. He's still going. Nobody told this kid the game's over. And he gets like a 22-yard catch to end the game. That's Gavin Oddman. And with that, we have reached the final score here from Simley Stadium. The Simley Spartans defeating the Hastings Raiders at home 39-13.
Just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure getting back on the call with you. Here's a guy who can just do basically all of it, right? I mean, football, basketball, lacrosse, soccer. You ask him to do swimming. We called swimming. We've done it.
This is like Shaq and Kobe got back together.
That's right. This is the dream team. Couldn't be more proud of being back here for HCTV Sports. Hopefully we can be back again.
Well, shout out to everybody on the broadcast fighting through technical difficulties. Special thanks to Hunter Pinky, Owen Ely, Reagan Huberman, Ian Andrzejczyk, Max Slocum, Ben Brandon, and Hunter Pinky, of course, on graphics and replay. Once again, the Raiders losing 13-39 to the Spartans on the road. For one final time, thanks for tuning in for HCTV Sports.